seams when the laps round circuits like a car. Speed so far, like shooting stars. Motorsports mania, that'll watch his channels. Take you from pit stops to panel. Virtuoso on asphalt and gravel. Commentary unravel. Grip the mic like a steering wheel. Real feel, no pretense, all deal. Loves motorsports, don't get it twisted. With his laugh hypnotic and listed. Faces fear with humor and rap. Yo Trevor, tell him about that bubble rap man. Taking command, fearless dude, pop in hand. Watch him go live, vibe so grand. Motorsports knowledge, broad as the land. Comedy tight, wrap him up tight. Crack a pop, no fight, all flight. Trevor rises, reach a new height. Bubble rap king doing right. Pop a bubble, feel the rumble. Trevor never stumble. Pedal to metal, adrenaline treble. Jokes and gears never settle. Connotate, captivate. Motorsport magnate. Live stream scene, his domain. Poppin' jokes like champagne. See him racing, fast pace. Heart racing, laughing faces. Motor chasing, commentator. Banter level major. From the track to chat, never flat. You know where the fun at. Trevor Byers bringing fire. Bubble rap man, true admire. Bubble rap man, taking command. Fearless dude, pop in hand. Watch him go live, vibe so grand. Motorsports knowledge, broad as the land. Comedy tight, wrap him up tight. Crack a pop, no fight, all flight. Trevor rises, reach a new height. Bubble rap king doing right. Poppin', watch it go live, vibe so great. Motorsports knowledge broad as the land. Comedy tight, wrap 'em up tight. Crack a pop, no fight, all flight. Trevor rises, reach a new height. Bubble rap king doing right. Trevor Byers, commentator, live streamer like a motorsports dreamer. Crackling jokes and cracking streams. Pop culture jokes explode at the seams. When the laps round circuits like a car. Speed so far, like shooting stars. Motorsports mania, that'll watch his channels. Take you from pit stops to panel. Virtuoso on asphalt and gravel. Commentary unravel. Grip the mic like a steering wheel. Real feel, no pretense, all deal. Loves motorsports, don't get it twisted. With his laugh hypnotic and listed. Faces fear with humor and rap. Yo Trevor, tell him about that bubble rap man. Taking command, fearless dude, pop in hand. Watch him go live, vibe so grand. Motorsports knowledge, broad as the land. Comedy tight, wrap him up tight. Crack a pop, no fight, all flight. Trevor rises, reach a new height. Bubble rap king doing right. Pop a bubble, feel the rumble. Trevor never stumble. Pedal to metal, adrenaline treble. Jokes and gears never settle. Connotate, captivate. Motorsport magnate. Live stream scene, his domain. Poppin' jokes like champagne. See him racing, fast pace. Heart racing, laughing faces. Motor chasing, commentator. Banter level major. From the track to chat, never flat. You know where the fun at. Trevor Byers bringing fire. Bubble rap man, true admire. Bubble rap man, taking command. Fearless dude, pop in hand. Watch him go live, vibe so grand. Motorsports knowledge, broad as the land. Comedy tight, wrap 'em up tight. Crack a pop, no fight, all flight. Trevor rises, reach a new height. Bubble rap king doing right.
23 of this charismatic French bulldog Hank will be waiting for him at home and he'll be saying, woof, woof, woof.
Very lucky he didn't do the first hour because he could have quite literally been a fish out of water, but thankfully for Nemo, he knows how to navigate these conditions.
Their usual thing and going tits up, but we've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here, and we're only on lap 1.
Not too far away from Immortal Nick, but Immortal Nick right behind Vern Wheeler here, but Vern Wheeler still got to do that mandatory pit stop.
You can see there Vanessa enjoying this. She goes, "Oh, you're so brilliant and funny," and she absolutely loving that stream over there at 7 a.m. and this guy down there side by side with Random, and then it's Hoot Corp. Look at this down Kemmel Straight, Prince, as the team radio beeps are coming in, flying under the radar. Welcome to you, and it's so close. Is there going to be contact? Hello and welcome. Nice to be at your place wherever you're watching right around the country. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, or guten Morgen in many parts of the world. Hello and welcome to the fourth and final race here of the SUDSPEED Lifeline Charity Series, with thanks to SUDSPEED. Beautiful gloves, as you can see there in the top right hand corner of your screen, and also to a Lifeline, all in aid of mental health awareness and suicide prevention. As you can see in our chat, just use the I forget what they're called, but yes, as you can see in the chat there, our charity month supporting Lifeline, like I mentioned, 24-hour crisis support service here in Australia. And the exclamation mark, there we go, I knew I'd get it eventually. And all the details in the chat. You join us during this qualifying session. And we are here, of course, at the Red Bull Ring in Austrian Alps countryside. And it's the Porsche 992 Cup car in the Ginetta GT4 with a bit of 40 kilos, if you don't mind. Nick and Sideways getting racy as I introduce the man alongside me in the commentary box. You all know him very, very well. He goes by various names, but he can piss his name into solid concrete. I speak of none other than Cameron Chuck Norris. Good evening to you, Chuck.
Subscribed for 21 months.
Good evening.
Sorry I can't be there tonight. Much love to everyone. Another awesome charity series. Blue heart, blue heart, blue heart.
And very nice, of course, the blue heart. We know what it means, and that is fantastic. And big shout out to Wilco, 21 months as well. That is not one, not two, but 3 babies, or 2.5 babies there. But sorry I can't be there tonight. Much love to everyone. Another awesome charity series. As Chuck Norris, we have come into qualifying here. We've got the GT4s and the Porsches out here tonight at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, we do have 2 different car classes out here tonight, the Porsche Cup and the Ginetta. It looks like we've got a good healthy mix between them. So looks like we've got 7 P Cups, and I'm not going to try and count the Ginettas because I'll butcher that one. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's a sign around Red Bull Ring that literally says the Red Bull Ring driving experience, and this is definitely a driving experience here tonight, Trev, with these two smiley boys and the Porsche Cup.
Ooh, as we've got a yellow flag. Speaking of smiley boys, it looks like it's 133. Saint Sim has now he's gotten going again. That looks like it is near the Niki Lauda. Is it the Niki Lauda curb? No, nein, it is near the Rindt curb as we come up to turn 10. Only 10 corners on this course. Rain of Fire, though, he has been good enough to join us. Big turnout too tonight, Prince. Looking good here since we opened up the other classes, of course. Getting a few more into the lobby here for the fourth and final race tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see the participations crept up as we obviously hit the final round of the charity series. You know, it's nice, and you know, we're talking off air that maybe in hindsight we should have thrown in 2 classes for each of the rounds that we had before, but you know, all of the anticipation and racing that we've been seeing over the course of the series has been insane, so it's going to be good to do one final send-off for the charity series.
And look how close it is at the top as Rain of Fire jumps in and says, boys. And I said, shush, stop being a legend. How good is he? And there we go, a 130.4. And Prince, already I have spotted with my eye something beginning with T, and I'm speaking of track limits, only 10 corners, and boy, do these drivers really like to push the white lines here, don't they, at the Red Bull Ring?
Yeah, as much as you want to push the track limits here, there's only a handful of spots you can do it, and unfortunately you kind of want to take a bit more in certain corners, and you can't. The race control and the director himself will kind of throw down the hammer real quickly and say, you've invalidated your lap, try again next time.
Absolutely, as 6 beautiful people watching us spawn, zoom, and Craigie O in that very nice looking Porsche there, Spawn, Mayo, Dask in the pits along with Rain of Fire, who jumped into the chat. He says only P2 in class because no practice. I said, you don't need to practice, Rain of Fire, to which he replied, oh, I do. This feels so Scheisenhausen after playing on iRacing. It seems that Rain of Fire has been playing more iRacing lately, Chuck, and it's never easy to come back to ACC, is it, after being on the old iRacing?
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, Rain of Fire jumped on and he bought a PC a little while ago now, and one of the first things he did was signed up to iRacing, and you know, I was in my DMs going, how do I get all these special liveries and setups and all this kind of good stuff? So, no, it's been good to see Rain of Fire loving iRacing, and yeah, it's a hard one to kind of jump from that back to ACC, but nonetheless, though, he's currently provisionally P2 for the Janettas.
And you can see there the Porsches. They are German, of course, as we see Nick on pole position by 0.2 of a second. Very tight there on the second row of the grid. Vibesy as well, as you can see, as my goodness me, checking 1-2, checking 1-2. Gee, my voice is loud, isn't it? Just checking the levels there. ACC cars do not want to rotate, says Rain of Fire, and very difficult to step back to a much simpler time, isn't it, Chuck Norris, when you get onto PC and you're downloading all your jazzy liveries from Race Department or whatever the hell it's called now. It is not easy dropping back to these more generic sort of liveries and basically console life, is it?
Yeah, definitely not. It's a hard one to kind of grasp, especially when the amount of detail and information and everything that the PC provides in that respect on racing sims to kind of jump back onto the console, and it tones it back quite a bit. And you know, once you go PC, Trev, you never go back. No,
once you go PC, you never go back. There we go. It's had a bit of a moment there as Rain of Fire. There we're looking at sideways polka in the Ginetta, and like going from a Lamborghini to a T-model Ford, where he's got to crank up, you know, the engine at the front. And there we go. That is the end of qualifying here in the land of the hills where they are alive with the sound of music. And we take a look at the pit lane there. Our pole position man into the pits. Anybody else on a hot lap? I think that Sideways Polka now is coming around the Red Bull corner, and he's flashing like crazy with his PSN. He's outside of the top 10. What about Mark Ledwich? Last seen going towards the Steiermark signage there, doing a few donuts. The boys having a good time. I think that might be everybody. Here comes Saint Sim, 8.9 seconds off of the pace. He comes across the line and he stays 15th. And Prince, 3 drivers failing to set a lap. Did they just not want to come out in qualifying, or did they have a bad session? Please explain.
Yeah, maybe they were, just kind of sitting back and watching everything unfold before their eyes. Either that, they're going to try and do the last to first challenge, but the one interesting one out of all of it, Trev, is Mayo, who's in a P Cup, and he's going to be quicker than the Smiley boys, our Janettas, but he's going to actually be starting behind them, so he's going to have to try and safely maneuver past the Janettas and make his way up to his counterparts, that being Mark and the rest of the drivers in front. But nonetheless, though, very, very quick and competitive during quali.
Yo, GL says, Water Arrow, great to have you with us. There is your starting grid. Boy, oh boy, look at Mayonnaise down there in P17. And like Chuck Norris said, very much throwing a porker amongst the chickens, because he will be much, much quicker, or the porker amongst the Janettas there, because he will be much, much quicker, and he will be pouncing into turn 1. Great to have you with us, Water Arrow. I see you out there lurking. Please consider following the stream. I know Water Arrow is, but what about this charity month, Prince, as we get ready to go racing here? Supporting Lifeline, 24 hours. That is 24 hours in the day. And there, of course, is only 24 hours in the day. So basically what we're saying, Prince, is Lifeline there every hour for every minute of the day, supporting mental health and suicide prevention. They do fantastic work, don't they, for this charity month, and every month for that matter.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Lifeline's a 24-hour crisis support line, so people that have definitely gone through it, and they feel like they've had nobody to reach out to and feel like they're not really doing too good. They'll, most of the time, you'll jump on the phone, you'll give Lifeline a call, and there's so many great representatives on the other end that deeply care about every connection they make. Even though it's through the telephone, they do care about each and every person that calls that line. And it's an amazing service, and I don't know what we'd do without it here in Australia.
Absolutely, and a big shout out to Lifeline and SUDSPEED as well, both providing support not only for this charity series and the previous races in the charity series, but also too for the whole of our 2024 August charity month. Use the code LIFELINE for 10% off those gloves. They are fantastic. Big hello to Richard and the team at SUDSPEED. But we've got just over a minute to go until we get this one underway. Like we said, this is race 4 of the Charity Month series. We might go to a short break and take a look at our stunning intros from Andrelli. Big shout out to Andrelli as well for the graphics, and shout out to Prince as well for the graphics to do with this charity series. We're going to go to a short break from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the start of this race very, very shortly. Do not go anywhere. It's the SUDSPEED Lifeline Charity Series coming to you on a Thursday night. Back in a minute. Charismatic French Bulldog Hank will be waiting for him at home, and he'll be saying, woof, woof, woof.
Very lucky he didn't do the first hour, because he could have quite literally been a fish out of water, but thankfully for Nemo, he knows how to navigate these conditions.
and going tits up. But we've got 6 hours, that's right, 6 hours to go here. And we're only on lap 1.
Not too far away from Immortal Nick, but Immortal Nick right behind Vert Wheeler here. But Vert Wheeler still got to do that mandatory pit stop.
You can see there Vanessa enjoying this. She goes, "Oh, you're so brilliant and funny." And she absolutely loving that stream over there at 7 a.m. And this guy down there side by side with Random, and then it's Hoot Corp. Look at this down Kemmel Straight, Prince, as the team radio beeps are coming in, flying under the radar. Welcome to you, and it's so close. Is there going to be contact?
Welcome back. We're going to take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at this Red Bull circuit. We are flying through the air and heading to the hills of the Styrian Mountains. And here we are in Austria, 4.318 kilometers, as we mentioned at the top of our program, 10 corners, and we are flying in like a UFO. And let's have a look at this. Start-finish straight into turn 1, the Castrol Edge. And then from there, we go through turn 2, which is actually not really a turn, if you know what I mean. And then it's the Remus corner at turn 3 before we start climbing to the next part of the circuit at turn 4. Might even be going down at the Rauch curve there, which sounds very aggressive in German. Turns 5 and 6, Pirelli corners 7, and the Rindt curb and the Mobile Red Bull curb. And that is a lap here of this Austrian circuit. Big shout out to Andrelli for providing us with these beautiful graphics. CP Greeny says, "Evening, handsome." Thank you very much, Greeny. I tell you what, timing is absolutely perfect from our man Greeny, because 10 people are watching and we are ready to go racing here at the Red Bull Ring for round 4. The 4th and final race of this charity series. Graphics look mint. You're not too bad either, yickety yak. As we go. Racing green flags here in Austria. We are away. And it is Nick and Crago going into turn 1. Don't forget about Smitty there on the outside through turn 1. And it's the boss of Hooncorp up to 4th as well. As get rid of that Christo, as you can see here on lap 1. Look at them all streaming towards turn 2, which isn't actually a turn, but they're 3 wide here at the moment. Nismo bumping doors with Kilroy, matching in there as well. Prince, this is a hectic start here.
Yeah, very interesting start. 7 wide running up the hill for the first time, and oh man, if this is anything to go by, this is just lap 1. First few corners, Trev, and everyone's fighting for that track position, and that's the one thing we love about both of these cars we have out here tonight, those being the Porsche Cup and the Ginetta, is they both provide amazing racing amongst themselves, and our drivers alike, they've got the skill and the talent to produce such racing.
Absolutely, we've opened it up to a couple of classes here. Oh, look at that camera! Zoom, zoom, zoom! And we're getting doofed in the head big time, because look at these porkers. That's all, folks. And that's Porky Pig there, and I think that Vibesy, the colour of Vibesy, reminded me of Porky Pig. And there we go, through the Rindt curb, down into the Red Bull curb now, and it's a short lap here, of course, Prince, but Nick leads by almost a second as we go through lap 1. And look at this, in second is Smitty now, up to second. Prince, where did he come from? Because he's up in P2, right up in Nick's business here.
Yeah, Smitty's a bit like Cotton Eye Joe at the moment, isn't he? It's kind of like where did he come from and where is he going? Because yeah, he's clawing his way up there, under a second, a few tenths away from Immortal Nick, and I reckon at the next timing line that's actually going to come down even more. There it goes, just over 5 tenths now. So Smitty's clawing away, gets a little bit squirrely on the exit there at the top of the hill.
He certainly did. He snuck up on him. He snuck up on Nick silently like the G in lasagna. He wasn't there, and the next minute he was. Incredible stuff, but look at the battles continuing further down the field as we see Vibesy now trying to keep Nismo at bay, and this is the man this man on your screen from Wakatempe Bay in the southern island of Auckland. He has come from 12th last week to finish 5th, but he's run wide, Prince, and now Machin wants some of his business too there for the Kiwi.
Yeah, going a little bit wide there. Unfortunately, taking a bit of gravel. That's definitely left him open for a move. Looks like he's managed to hold on here. Machin, though, he definitely looked like he wanted that position, and he's definitely not going to be getting off that bumper anytime soon.
Machin, 6th, and he is in the 193 Porker, or as we like to call it, the Jamaican bobsled livery there. As somebody's in the pits, Kilroy. Is it Kilroy? It certainly is. Kilroy down to 50 kilometres, please, as you drive past the static 2D marshals and the man in the safety vest who shouldn't really be there without that catch fencing. But into the pits, I wonder what this could be for. Is it damage, Prince? Or is it just an early pit stop to get some clear air?
I think this is an early pit stop to try and get some clear air, but unfortunately, when you've got a slower class like the GT4 amongst the field, it might not pay off for him, but obviously we'll have to keep an eye on him, see how he progresses. But Mayo, though, he didn't qualify. He's already almost passed all the GT4s. He's got one more to go, that being Hyperdrift, but that gap we see, obviously the pace difference between the Porsche Cup and the Ginetta is definitely coming out to shine at the moment, but there's two really good battles and two big trains of car classes going on at the moment.
As you can see there, look at that. Thanks very much for coming there. You shall be banned, and banned you shall be, because Hyperdrift is the only Ginetta. Vinjetta. I put that on my chips. It's a very nice substitute for chicken salt. But Hyperdrift is the only one ahead of this Porker, and Mayo is chasing him down. As you can see there, I think he might be through there. And it's best if Hyperdrift does not look to make that battle. Just lets him through there, as that's what I'm trying to say. As we get back to the business end of things, lap 3 of this race. It's a 7-11 Porsche there. And let me tell you, Nick is open for business like a 7-11 24/7, but that gap is still less than a second. 5 minutes into this race, and it seems, Chuck Norris, we've got more bots here than you can throw a stick at. As Smitty once again getting all squirrel out of turn 3.
Yeah, maybe he's just applying a little bit too much steering rotation and not straightening it out just before getting on the gas. But yeah, I mean, the Porsche Cup, I think it's got ABS, but it definitely doesn't have traction control. So especially a corner like that one at the top of the hill, it doesn't really help with the traction side of things. But nonetheless, though, they've at least got a pit stop that's mandatory, 25 seconds for fuel. But I wouldn't be surprised if some of these P-Cups end up taking tyres for that extra 5 seconds.
And of course, there is an extra 5 seconds if you want to add tyres, as Jason Wilkinson, attention, did I send it or didn't send it? Yeah, send it, baby. And the smooth operator there redeeming your kid coins, your sound effects. Why are they being all shy for, Prince? Can you tell them, please, to get really close and redeem your kid coins? I don't need you to be all shy there. Start chatting with us as we're on lap 4 of this race. Smitty still continuing to hunt Nick down like a wild animal there, as Craigo, haven't mentioned him much, but he's in 3rd position, and then Vimesy as the sound effects being redeemed really willy-nilly at the moment, with Jason there chiming in with another 500 kit coins and another 500 for the Shut Up Jason. And who could forget that race at Monza, of course, where he commentated and also raced as well, and then started giving me the once-over about how I could only commentate. But I'm not a champion, we know that. But let me tell you here, and 75% Chuck Norris, 75% of drivers leading on the opening lap in KRL races around this Red Bull track have gone on to win the race at this circuit. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything, but they are big, big statistics, aren't they, around the Red Bull ring?
Yeah, definitely are. And, you know, it's been one of those things that it's not almost the staple mark of KRL. But yeah, I mean, typically our driver that starts in pole position ends up going on to win the race. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of fighting in between all of that, and you know, we're only almost 10 minutes into this race, so we don't want to say Nick's going to run away with it, because we do feel like Smitty's got the pace here, but then again, Craigio, Vibesy, Matchin not too far behind, they also want that win.
Absolutely, as night, sleep tight. Now I pass out, says Jason Wilkinson, as he says, I pulled that stat out of my beehive. And let me tell you, be careful, Jason, as he drifts off into sleep down there at Carrum Downs. And I don't know whether, what is it, 8:30 Eastern time and 8 o'clock in Adelaide, whatever time it is over there in Perth. Hello to you. But what about Jason falling to sleep as Matchin comes into the pits? Interesting, as the Jamaican bobsledder comes into the pits, another early pit stop here in this race with 36.5 still to play out here on lap 5. And I don't know, what do you think about Jason going to bed at this time at 8:30, 8 o'clock your time, Prince? Because box, indeed. Thank you, CP Greeny. But Jason going to bed at this hour. What about back in the 40s? When back in my day, we used to go to the police academy and storm the beaches and work a 12-hour shift at the box factory, and then we used to go play cricket and go home and feed our 11 kids. Is he getting soft, Chuck Norris? That's what I want to know from you. Or are you too scared to say?
I think I'm too scared to say, but I mean, I could do what I did to you on the weekend, Trev, during my 24-hour, where you're like, I'm going to sleep, and then I ended up terrifying you to the point where you didn't want to go to sleep anymore. But we'll leave that story for another day. Craigio is right on the back of Smitty here. This is going to be a bit of pressure that he'll be applying if he doesn't mistake where the apex of T1 is. But nonetheless, though, he collected it, and he'll get right back into that battle.
He certainly will be, and you do not have to say anything, Cameron Norris, unless you do want to be, unless it will be used against you for questioning at a later date. So if you feel like you need to say anything, I've completely butchered whatever it is that is called. But 1.3 seconds the gap. You can tell I'm not a German policeman, but imagine me skipping around the Austrian mountains there. 1.3 now between first and second, and 1.5 back to Crago. He must have made a mistake himself, then it's 2.4 back to that's Vibesy, and you can see there in fourth, Nismo. He seems like a man who is, he's got something to prove here this evening. He went from 12th to 5th last week, and now he's up in P5 there, leading his class comfortably, as I feel very sorry for that camera there at that particular corner. Mark Ledwich in 6th, as you can see there. Mayonnaise up into 7th now, and then it's Hyperdrift there. Rain of Fire. Jimbo Johnson, haven't talked about him much. Of course, he does like to play a bit of Sea of Thieves and have a pet monkey, which he shoots out of a cannon. And fitness test Tuesday, 2 hours in the gym, a 20-minute sprint, rest sprint. Then today, played golf after work. So you shut your pie hole, jabroni. And there we go. Jason just setting the record straight there. Prince not mincing his words. And the only way that would have been even more intimidating is if it sounded like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's mincing his words and not mincing his meat. But Jimbo, he's been doing well. I mean, I saw a message from Jimbo in Discord earlier going, I wonder what people are driving.
I got fastest lap too.
You know, I think Jimbo was secretly trying to figure out
Look at you go.
Or a win in his respective car class. But Jimbo, nice forward. You got sideways polka pouring down behind you, so hoping you make it through. But one thing that is interesting, Trav, is we've had 2 early pit stops, those being Kilroy and Matchin, both in the Porsche Cup, and I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit too early for the Porsche Cup, given the fact that you might want to take tyres during this round.
Absolutely, and that is the voice of the one and only Chuck Norris, fighting off sharks for fun. But look at this! Side by side there was Dask and Exocyst, and he'll be needing to perform some sort of exorcism here if he's going to get rid of Dask on this occasion. But that lime green, lime spider car goes through Chuck Norris, and let me tell you, Exorcist is not done with yet. Is that my fellow 24-hour Le Mans winner? I am hearing it certainly is Ricardo. Hola, guten Tagen, mein Herr. And let's have a look at this. Dask is through there on Exo, and it is a Le Mans winner we are talking to here, and multiple champion Chuck Norris alongside us. So congratulations to Chuck on that Le Mans 24-hour race. Absolutely fantastic, as I fell asleep halfway through. But Kilroy, we're hearing from CP Greeny, breaking news that Kilroy has disconnectedness here.
Oh no, so yeah, Kilroy's disconnected. Does look like he's sitting in pit lane, so maybe he disconnected, he's managed to get back in. But yeah, unfortunately for him, he's going to have that mandatory time to hold in the pit lane before he can get released again. But yeah, Kilroy was on the podium, I believe, last week, wasn't he, Trev? So unfortunately, his race is kind of in the bin at the moment, but it's good to see him back in the server, and hopefully we can see him back out on the track.
Yep, it's fantastic to see him in the server, of course. X-Files music there. Oh no, that's that's the Twilight Zone. But he is back now. And my daughter's trying to sleep, so we won't do that again too many times. But there we go, X-Files indeed. I was just a paid actor during that one. It was all you, says Ricardo. In fact, that is Prince to Ricardo. But hello, your call could not be connected. Please check the number and try again. Because we don't call us, we'll call you, because Smitty and Nick is under all sorts of pressure here. Oh, silly salmon. Squirrel business. It was Doug, as he was reported, says Ricardo. Put that on the soundboard, says Greeny. And he loves the X-Files. And there we go. It was aliens, says Mulder. But Smitty and Nick, wow, front row seats here. Me and you, Chuck. How does it sound? Ringside.
Yeah, I love being ringside. Trev, who are you going for, the red corner or the blue corner? Because in the blue corner we got Smitty weighing at 138 race numbers, and we've got Immortal Nick in the red corner weighing in at 711 race numbers. Who's your money on, the red or the blue corner at the moment?
Well, before I talk about whether I'm going to take the red or the blue pill, don't forget about Craigo diving into the louder curb. That might not be the louder curb, but there is a louder curb somewhere. And now I'm missing Cameron to the chopper. Get to the chopper. Come on. I'm right here, Ricardo. Kill me. I'm right here. And I'm missing Cameron doing the chopper commentator impression. Because let me tell you, basically what I'm trying to say, Chuck, is that Craig is here, and he will be the first to benefit if first and second trip over each other. In fact, he's very, very close here at the moment.
Yeah, he is right in the pickings for this one, and just for Ricardo's sake. Yeah, hello, Ricardo. It's me. I'm up in the helicopter. I'm just trying to give you some informed decisions. Craigie, he's got the purple lap. He's not too far away from Smitty here. Why does it sound like Homer going?
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's a Ricardo. I was trying to be a chopper there, and didn't really work. I was trying to give you the doof, and you were meant to be up in the chopper, and there we go. But it ended up. Oh, somebody! Wow, somebody is off the track. Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. He's lost one of his Oompa Loompas in there, because Saint Sim again in trouble there with 28 minutes to go down the back of the field at the moment. Just running a little bit wide. We've seen that corner catch a few out here this weekend, Chuck.
Yeah, it's a very tricky corner. You want to carry so much speed through there, but obviously, if you go out a little bit too wide to the left, you can easily pick yourself up a track warning. And I think he did well. Obviously, we've got the Porsche Cups that are a bit quicker. So I think he did well to kind of keep it out of trouble there as they were navigating their way past. But yeah, nonetheless, though, they're still tick for tacking here. Nick and Smitty, though, Trev. They've lost a little bit of time sitting behind somebody else. We've got Exo here, keeping this battle nice and alive between the top 3 Porsches.
Look at this, and they've come across some traffic here, but looked like Smitty was almost boxed in there, wasn't he? Behind, I think it might have been Exo there. And as you can see there, Exo now, they've cleared Exo. And they're coming up to Dask here, and of course, with a massive speed difference in these cars, Chuck, you don't want to get these cars further down the field at the wrong part of the track, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about positioning yourself, understanding, all right, we've got a slower class car a little bit up the road. Where do we want to be as they're going down the inside? Dask leaves just enough room so that he can still maintain being on a valid lap without obviously accumulating a track warning. But I think that was very well done there, Trev. Plenty of room for them to get through and slowed them up just a little bit enough. But, that's the way you've got to manage these traffic conditions.
Absolutely. And basically, I talk about things and because my distinct lack of driving talent. But is Smitty getting in the dirty air here? We saw him just get a little bit wide there going through turn 1. And if anything, that's put him back into the clutches of Craigo. And we saw on the last lap, they got caught in some traffic there, but they're all clear of that. You can see the cars, the blue cars, the Ginetta cars, and the green cars on the map, I believe, Prince of the Porky Pigs. And yes, they are, of course. So let's recap. It is Nick who has a slight reprieve for the time being, but Spawn is just there in your picture as they come across the camera there. Smitty in second, dropping back now. 1.6 seconds is the gap. And then it's Craig in third. Probably doesn't like me doing that, but it's too late now. It's really stuck. It's a very sticky one. That one is Vibesy and Dask. I think he's just clearing Dask here. But Nismo, where is Nismo? As it seems that we've got a fixed camera. Now we're back to the more dynamic track camera. How have you seen Nismo's race here this evening, Chuck? The Kiwi once again doing very well here, and a man who, as we've heard him say, doesn't have a lot of practice, as Smitty into the pits and Jimbo Johnson Jr.
Yeah, so it looks like a couple of extra people diving into pit lane. Maybe they feel like, maybe we lost a little bit of time here and we can capitalize in the pit lane, or maybe it's just not worth staying out because in turn we can capitalize in pit lane. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, because when they do come out, they're going to have to re-navigate past the GT4s, which might slow them down a little bit more. But yeah, interesting decision by Smitty and Jimbo. But back onto what you said just before, Trev, I do have to agree. Obviously this charity series will be utilising a lot of different cars that we wouldn't normally run on a normal weekly series. I feel like we've been seeing a lot of people kind of coming out of their shell, so to speak, and seeing their natural talent and seeing where they excel the most, whether it's, in the BMW TCX that we ran at Donington Park, or, any of the other manufacturers and different car classes that we used. It's always good to see these drivers trying something different, challenging themselves week in, week out, because when we go back to something normal like GT3s, then, these little bits of skill they gain might end up carrying them a long way.
Absolutely, and that is a 24 hours of Le Mans winner there that we are talking to, and we have the privilege of having him alongside us in the commentary box, and absolutely fantastic to have him each and every week. He comes along and gives us a great insight, of course. Multiple KRL champion, QRT Esports, Cameron Norris. That's what we call him in the more formal stuff, but of course he's the Nigerian Chuck Norris as well. And as I let you ponder that mental image of a Nigerian version of Chuck Norris, it seems, Prince, that my It's got my little follow counter here. I'm clicking through and it seems that I'm stuck on 391 followers, Prince. Can you please tell them what they need to do out there if they're watching?
Alright, just quickly in typical voodoo fashion. Help me, followers, I'm stuck in the washing machine. I need you to follow to let me out, please. I'm on a spin cycle now, apparently.
You know when things get stuck, like putting stuff in there, and there we go. He's in the washroom and the washing machine. And if you want a free voodoo, send 1 million unmarked. Oh, hello, it was after his distance. Which reminds me actually to check on Mayo. I don't know why, I just had this urge to just jump on board there with mayonnaise, but he's in P6, and considering where he started, Chuck Norris, that is very, very good indeed. Trying the last to sixth challenge here is mayonnaise. We had a yellow flag out there for something. Is that a Vibesy I see? Is that a Vibesy who is off the circuit? He is! And in fact, he might have gone off coming into the pit lane, Chuck Norris. Get out of the dryer and into my bedroom.
yeah, Vibesy unfortunately made a mistake. And the one thing that's so easy to do here is the mistake coming through the final corner, because obviously you want to try and stay within the white lines when you're coming in a pit lane, but the white lines is actually directly on the apex. In that final corner, you've got to hug it nice and tight to get down in a pit lane, and maybe Vibesy hugged it a little bit too much, and the inside line was like, no, not now. But you know, thankfully Vibesy's in pit lane, doesn't look like too much damage, so he'll be getting this mandatory stop out of the way, and he'll be back out onto the circuit in no time.
And I tell you what, let's have a look at Rain of Fire here in the Ginetta. And you can see there the number 87, Rain of Fire, in the purple car. Is that someone? I think that's Kilroy. No. Yes, Kilroy, I beg your pardon, going past as the Austrian marshal there, waving the blue flag, blue flag. Come on, blue flag, honestly. And is that EXO I see having a battle with Chipperton? This is interesting because it appears that we've got our race leader coming up to this battle. And I know all too well what it's like to be a backmarker, and not that they're, well, obviously different classes, Prince, but sometimes if you are the race leader and you're first on the scene, and you've got a couple of other guys doing battle, they can be very, very wrapped up and enthralled and completely consumed by their own battle and not really know that a quicker car's coming behind them, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to get so honed in and focused on the battle that you're having that, you know, you almost forget that, oh, we do actually have a faster class car here. They're making their way through and they want to get past while I'm trying to get past one of my competitors here. So, yeah, it's a little bit of multi-action going on, you know. Not only do you have to be really paying attention to the faster guys, but, you know, you've obviously got to be paying attention to what's going on with that driver in front that you're trying to chase down too. So making sure that whatever you do, you don't lose as much time as what you normally would is always the key.
Wise words, in fact, as Mark now into the pit lane. We'll keep an eye on this one. Vibesy in the minute. And the pink porker, as it's more affectionately known. That's all, folks. Well, that's not going to be all for Vibesy because he is right behind Machin here. And this is looking like a sexy lap. Yeah. That the porker won't know how to act. And Machin, of course, being Machin, he is under pressure here through turn one as those four Austrian marshals still continue to do their thing. As you can see, look at the build-up of marbles and rubber on the outside there, or off the racing line, I should say, Chuck Norris. And you do not want to be out there when it gets dirty and nasty. You don't want to be on the outside, do you?
Yeah, definitely don't want to be there. It can be a little bit slipperier, and you can break traction a lot quicker than what you normally would. So making sure that you're not spending your time out there is definitely going to be crucial, coming into braking zones and on the exits of corners and all those kind of good things. But the one thing I'm noticing, Trey, is obviously we've got Hyperdrift in pit lane, but we've only got another 4 drivers to complete their mandatory stop, as we see Spawn diving in.
Spawn diving in to the pit lane there as well. Looks a bit like Lightning, what's his name? McQueen, is it?
Lightning McQueen, that's exactly what was going through my head too.
Ah, yes, two great minds think alike. Well, they do when the other one's out of the spin cycle in the dry. Their Hyperdrift comes off the jacks, and they love the Hoon Corp livery there. Quite a crowded pit lane there. And that Austrian man at the end saying, "Oh, das ist Hyperdrift leaving the pit lane. What you don't speedy, yeah?" And he comes out now. And, well, one of the issues I have, not only not being able to drive cars properly in the sim racing world, but pit lane exit lines have always got me big time, Chuck Norris, and very difficult this circuit. It's a narrow pit lane with the barriers. Very difficult to get that one right. But let's have a look. Kilroy in front of Hyperdrift. And where are some of the other closer battles? There's Craigo into the pits now. There he is, Craigio, into the pit lane. And why are the pit crew invisible in this game, Chuck Norris? It's something that's really, really messed with me for a long time. Just like those 2D spectators there in the Paddock Club watching Craigo. But why are they invisible for our eyes to see?
Yeah, that's a little bit weird, isn't it, Trev, when you really think about it? I mean, you know, in iRacing, you can see everyone's pit crew as you're navigating your way down and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting that we can't see everyone's pit crew when we're watching what's going on. So it's almost like they've got invisible friends working on the car secretly. And you know, we might have to get FIA to double check those cars at the end, make sure that, you know, they haven't been unrestricted or, you know, all that kind of good stuff. But no, Craigio making his way out of pit lane now. This is going to be interesting. Obviously, Immortal Nick, Craigio and Smitty were having a bit of a battle. Smitty dived in earlier. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of where all these guys end up placing themselves. Nick looks like he's going around another time. So, yeah, I wonder where we're going to be seeing these guys in the end.
I tell you what we're seeing at the moment here, Chuck Norris, is sideways polka as Nick goes through there. Sneaks through very, very close indeed. And look at this sideways there and rain of fire. They are having a terrific battle here with 15 minutes to go in this race. Half an hour gone. 15 minutes to go. 1, 2, 3, Sven, Svan, Svi, Fa. We smell a battle with a rain of fire. And that is what they'll be saying there in the German hills, not too far away from the birthplace of Arnold and Toto. And yes, Toto was very happy, you know, I mean, extremely happy this year, but we still have a long way to go. The new regulations. And you know how Toto talks. It's a bit like Arnie with a bit of Toto in there as well. And I think that we are seeing a battle here. Sideways Polka, he is lining Rain of Fire up. And let me tell you, he's sneaking up behind him. And he's going to make Rain of Fire very, very moist here sooner rather than later, Chuck.
Yeah, definitely is. Talking about liveries as well, Trev, does Rain of Fire's livery give off, what was it, Buzz Lightyear or something like that? The colour scheme on towards the rear of the car almost looks like Buzz Lightyear. I don't know.
To
just,
infinity.
Going through my head.
Yes, there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Hello. And then Woody comes in, doesn't he? But who's the kid? Not Andy. Andy grew up and was doing other sorts of things in his room with his toys. But what about the other guy? Who was the other kid that used to blow up the toys? You know the one I'm talking about. Sid.
Oh,
was
yeah.
it Sid?
Yeah.
Oh yes. He was a little. I wonder what Sid ended up doing. But he's a little bit of a psychopath, wasn't he, Sid? But Machin now, Vibesy, Machin coming up on Markio there. But they are very close as well. And to infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear, I'm never going to unsee the back of that livery now. With thanks to you, Chuck Norris. And you remember Slinky? Oh, is it Slinky? Oh, what was it? Oh, I forget who it was.
My favourite one was that one time where your laugh sounded like the penguin from Toy Story.
I think I feel a song coming on. And Machin and Mark there. Look at the build-up of marbles and gunk on Machin's car there, but he looks like the Jamaican bobsled team. Remember, they used to carry a lucky egg with them as well. in the bobsled with themselves as well. But very, very tragic ending to that movie, of course, with John Candy. Do you remember John Candy? Probably were born after he passed away, but a great actor nonetheless. And look, 0.2 of a second, Chuck. Is he lining him up Rosberg Hamilton style or Verstappen Leclerc style up into turn 3 here?
Yeah, I think Machin's just setting him up a little bit here. Obviously doesn't want to go for it on the run up the hill because that's a tricky corner to go too wide through. Easy place to make mistakes, but at the same time, I don't think Machin wants to go for a move where he's going to lose too much time, because if all vibes he needs is Mark and Machin to go too wide for 2 corners, and then all of a sudden he's straight in that battle too. So this is going to be a good 3-wide battle to keep an eye on. Sideways Polka as well, respectively. He's very close to Rain of Fire. And then everyone seems to be a little bit distanced outside of that. But one thing I've been keeping an eye on, Trevor, is obviously our top 3. Although Nick still needs to come in for his mandatory pit stop, it looks like Smitty, he came in early, and it's actually cost him a lot of time. He was only a few tenths, if that, off the back of Craigio and Nick when they were all battling. And that battle was almost back to 6 seconds from Smitty. So, yeah, it's one that's probably hurt him a little bit too much, but that battle that we were watching just before is definitely one to keep an eye on as well.
Absolutely, but look at Machin. They've got, who is that Mark ahead of them? And look at this, Vibesy, Mark and Vibesy and Machin all going into turn 1. 3 into 1, it doesn't go, as Marty would say. But that's very risky, isn't it, to sort of go in there a day late and $1 short on that one, Vibesy. But 11 minutes to go. We need to start doing grid walks, not with a famous pit lane reporter who... who we finished up there as part of our reshuffle here at KRL, of course. He used to be in the pit lane, and you never knew when he would appear. But look at this, Chuck. Look at the sponsor, the yellow sponsorship board there. It looks like a grenade as the logo there. That's very interesting. We'll get back to that in a moment with my eagerly keen eyes. Boy, you can tell Dr. Chan lasered me up real good, because I can see a barn at 100 yards. And you can see there now, I can see this battle in front of my eyes. What does Vimesy do here? You're behind the wheel of the pink Porker. And what do you do here? Do you just watch this play out, or do you have to really focus on your own race and just finding your braking marks and your lines and all that sort of thing? Do you... oh, hello. Nick is not too far behind them either, Chuck. But what does Vibesy do? Does he sit back and Bradbury it here?
Yeah, it's one of those tough ones, because you want to get past both of them, but at the same time, if you let them kind of fight away, that gives you equally of a greater chance of taking away P6 as well. So, or sorry, P5 as well. As we see Nick, our final driver to make his way down in the pit lane, is coming in, doing his mandatory stop. But yeah, I think if I was Vibesy, I would sit back a little bit, maybe wait for Mark and Machin to kind of tick for tack, and then try and seize that opportunity when I can.
Absolutely. All about seizing opportunities, seizing the moment. Oh, Vibesy! My goodness. Oh, what happened there? Straight off the racing line there at turn 3. Did he just overcook it, Chuck Norris? Because that's really overcooked his cabbage there at turn 3, because that's going to put him out of this battle with less than 10 minutes to go. Disastrous for Vibesy.
Yeah, I think Vibesy was trying to seize the moment, but instead he ended up seasoning the moment. Sorry, that was a bad joke. I'll find my way out the door. But yeah, no, that's unfortunate for Vibesy. Very easy to do at the top of the hill, no matter whether you're in a GT3 or the Porsche Cup with no TC. It's a tricky corner sometimes, like we talked about earlier, Trev. You put a little bit too much steering rotation in, and you don't straighten it up enough while getting back onto the gas completely, and you can easily find yourself doing that. And luckily for Vibesy, he lost himself a few seconds, but it's better than being completely faced in the wall and losing even more time.
Absolutely, and if you're not in the wall, you are out on the track, and that's all you can ask for if you are Vibesy here at the moment. But let's continue with 8.5 to go. 8.5 left to play out the Red Bull driving experience, the Red Bull Ring driving experience we have witnessed one of the great Red Bull driving experiences here. What a race we have seen. I cannot get over how much these cars remind you of Smiley Boys at the front of these cars, if you just look at them. But Jimbo, well, here's Jimbo sliding around this track like he's on the high seas. Haven't talked about him too much in car number 91, but he is just continuing on his merry way. He's in P7 in his class, P12 out on the track. And he's just minding his own business, isn't he, in his yellow and orange liveried car there, Chuck?
Yeah, Jimbo just minding his business, and he'd be looking at the Delta going, oh, Rain of Fire and Sideways Polka. If they, they race hard, maybe they come together, that'll bring me into it and scrape me into the podium placings. But, yeah, no, I mean, Jimbo, yeah, maybe he's been steering some boats a little bit too aggressively on the high seas, Trev, because he looks like he's trying to wrangle this thing through the corners, kind of like how, we're going after the Megalodon or the Kraken, Jimbo's straight in it.
Well, I tell you what, he's hasn't had a lot of luck tonight, and nothing better than sailing those high seas, like you mentioned, Chuck Norris. With Jimbo, of course, we play socially with him. He's a big, big part of the Kid Buyers racing community, and we hope you will be a part of that community as well. If you're out there watching and you want me to get out of the dishwasher, then hit that follow button, and might have been in the dryer, in fact, rather than the dishwasher there. At least in the dryer, he should have a viewing window. It's not complete and total darkness, but 6.5 minutes to go in the race. Track temperature 30 degrees, air temperature of 27. A very, very brisk summery afternoon here in the land of the Austrian mountains, but 24 laps completed. Is this the shortest circuit in Assetto Corsa? Is it, Prince? I'm trying to think. Is there? It is a short track, isn't it? But 3.8 is it? I think kilometers. This one, or is it 4.8?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the only track that I can think of off the top of my head that might compete with this in terms of being the shortest track would be maybe Alton Park. I know Alton Park's maybe about 1:30 something a lap, and this one's about the same, but definitely this track takes the cake for the fewest amount of corners that you have to go through.
Absolutely, as we go past the Rauch curb there at that corner. Sideways Polka continuing on now, less than a second behind Rain of Fire. And you can see there, Rain of Fire, and he must be just getting so off-put as Mayonnaise there. Not only we saw him get through the field earlier on in this race, but he's putting laps on them now. But Sideways Polka is Mayo. Will he let him through? Let's have a look here. Coming up to the Lauder curb. I mean, the Rind curb. Why do I call it the Lauder curb? You Dunkov. Yes. Rest in peace, Nicky. And Sideways Polka, they're letting him through. But he must be getting awfully sick and tired of looking at the back of Buzz Lightyear, because since you mentioned it, Prince, he might not be thinking that, but it definitely looks like Buzz Lightyear there, and this battle continues. Where can you see an opportunity for Sideways Polka to make some moves here?
Oh, there's only a handful of laps to go, and unfortunately for Sideways Polka, he's managed to lose a lot of time to Rain of Fire with one of our drivers making their way through. So, yeah, he's definitely going to have to be putting his best foot forward and hoping that Buzz Lightyear ends up making a few mistakes here to kind of claw him back in. But yeah, Sideways, he's got the pace, we know it. But I think he just struggles a little bit, maybe in the dirty air. Once he gets a little bit too close, maybe the setup just isn't quite right. Unbalances itself a little bit too easily, and then that gap kind of comes back a little bit. Either that, Rain of Fire has been learning a lot on iRacing, and he's been putting it all to good use.
He certainly has. Very defensive indeed. And Buzz Lightyear's got his wings out. All the while, Sideways Polka is looking to battle the evil Emperor Zurg, sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance. And so there we go. He's looking for a top 10 on the track finish here as well. But he is not even making a dent in the back of that car. Of course, he's getting closer though now. We can't have any more than a couple of laps left here. And if he's going to have a look at the back of the evil Emperor Zurg and try and take on the sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance, he's going to have to make a move very, very shortly. What other battles have we got on track? Chipperton, hello! And Nismo, Chipperton, Dask, and Exorcist. And Exorcist in there as well, Chuck Norris. This is a spicy little one to finish proceedings here.
Yeah, I was just watching that a little while ago, watching the gap claw down and seeing these guys were all nice and close together. And, you know, this is what we love to see, you know, even though they're categorized in different classes, you know. Chipperton leading our AM drivers in regards to the Janettas, and these guys are having a great battle with only 2.5 minutes remaining on that clock, Trev. Absolutely no time to try and get this move done, but, you know, one small mistake, Exo might manage to walk away with 2 positions, or Dask might grab a position, Chipperton might drop back. It's too early to tell, Trev.
It certainly is, and Vibesy is sideways there, stuck on the curbs. There's an ambulance down there, and no need for it, fortunately, on this occasion, because they could drive into that dense bushland there and you wouldn't know what was going to happen to you. It's one of my great fears. Anyway, 2 minutes left in this race. Vibesy, what happened there? He was all on his own, Prince, when he got himself into a bit of mischief. And what happened there?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe the curb was trying to turn him into a jigsaw puzzle, and he was like, no, I'm not a jigsaw puzzle today. You know, it's kind of like that too. Sorry, it's a joke where Peppa Pig gets turned into a jigsaw puzzle at the factory. But yeah, anyway, Vibesy, yeah, another small mistake by him. Maybe he's cooked his tires up a little bit too much, and yeah, they're just not happy to be on the circuit at the moment.
No, that's right. There's Vibesy. There's your little brother George, and there's Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig, and yes, and there we go. And we'll get back. Where was that battle I was looking at before? This one is what I was looking at before, because the old jigsaw, not like those Saw movies, of course, very disturbing indeed. Hello, Gary. It seems that 10th place is right in front of you. There we go, Buzz Lightyear. Ooh, taking a different line there. Rain of Fire, but Sideways Polka a little bit further back here is, as we can see now, the where is our race leader, Nick? He's got a. Is this going to be the last? I don't think this is going to be the last lap, is it, Chuck? I think he's no. I think we're going to have another one here, or are we? This is going to be touch and go here, Chuck Norris.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be close, but yeah, I do think we are going to be seeing one more lap to go until we see the checkered flag here. But Nick's strategy's kind of come in clutch a little bit here, because you know you look back at maybe 25 minutes or so ago, Nick, Craigio, and Smitty were all bunched up together. Smitty dived into pit lane early to try and get it out of the way. Was hoping that maybe he'd get the jump. That didn't work. He ended up dropping back a few tenths. Craigio came back, 10 minutes later came in, and that didn't pay off. And Nick looks like he's walked away with a win here. Nice and comfortable win there, Trevor.
Absolutely, and it was the last lap of the race. I was looking at the time. All the fireworks are going off here in Austria. And just that garlic schnitzel I had for lunch, but how fitting indeed that the fireworks are going off. Across the line goes Nismo. Oh, finished in P4th. P4th? That felt a bit like Mike Tyson. And Mark in 5th, Machin in 6th. Here comes the Jamaican in the 193 Porsche. Isn't it funny how pattern recognition and colour recognition, Prince, we seem to associate these cars with particular things. But here comes Vibesy. That's all, folks, in the pink Porker. But what a race we've seen. Value for money, Chuck, for the price of admission here this afternoon.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, there was some great racing from start to finish, plenty of great battles, and likewise, everyone put their best foot forward for this final race of the charity series. I'm very happy with the way everyone navigated the multi-class traffic tonight. It definitely went well.
Absolutely. Here's mayonnaise. Get your bread out and get ready to slap a big, thick load of mayonnaise on it. And you can see he comes across the line in P8, P5 in his class. Bit weird, wasn't it, what I just said? Just struck me then. But Hyperdrift in ninth, but Nick winning. Then Gregorio and Smitty in third. Nismo, fifth last week and fourth this week. And there's going to be a public holiday in Mount Wakataki here tomorrow, of course. Happy big hello to Kia Runner to you. And Mark in fifth, Machin in sixth, Vibesy in seventh, Mayo, Hyper, Rain of Fire, Sideways, Kilroy, Jimbo, Spawn, Chip and Dask. Chip getting the jump on Dask there at the end, and Exo was was just a spectator for that one. Saint Sim, we lost him unfortunately. We had about 18, I think, start the race, and 17 were left. We are going to now chat with our drivers in the post-race driver press conference, which is really just all of us jumping in to the commentary box chat, of course, on Discord. Bloody Crago, says Rain of Fire, with the very dumb dive. Oh, hello. Spicy at the hairpin. Nearly cost me second in class at the end, as I believe we've got some drivers with us. I think we might have Nick with us in the post-race interviews. Nick, have you got us there?
I believe I do.
Well, Nick, it's Thursday evening. It's after the race on a Thursday evening, and guess what? We're talking again. Talk us through that race, my friend. Clinical from you once again. A great race for you tonight.
Yeah, it was a good race. I do enjoy this car. It's a good challenge to get on it, but Smitty and Craigio were absolutely keeping me very honest. Smitty was right on me for the first half of the race, I guess, before he pitted, within a second or two a lap for the whole time, catching me, put me under a lot of pressure, and then he pitted. So again, I fueled for a little bit of a longer stint and just kept going, and Craigio was slowly catching me, and I was thinking maybe Smitty might undercut me in the pits, but something must have happened, so I'll come out a little bit in front of him, and only 5 seconds or 4 seconds in front of Craigio after my pit. But yeah, just managed to hang on. Dodging through those Genettas was tricky at times. Some of them made it nice and easy, some of them not so easy. Would have been nice with a little bit more room, but understand they were racing too. But yeah, just happy with the win again. I'll take them when I get them. I think it would have been nice to see a few more of the big dogs on tonight, but not to be. But again, I'll take the race wins when they come, mate.
Absolutely fantastic. Well summed up there, mate. A terrific drive once again, and congratulations on the win tonight, mate. Are we seeing you tomorrow night for the big one?
I'll be watching, but my teammate James Matchin is going to be qualifying for us. So, yeah, looking forward to cheering him on for that, and cannot wait for the Sunday race.
Great stuff, Nick there. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you over the weekend. We'll mention that a little bit later on. The big one, of course, coming up tomorrow, qualifying Sunday for the big race at Kailami, as Hyper has also been good enough to join us. Talk us through your race if you can hear us loud and clear. Come in, over.
Howdy all. It's been a little while. Race was race was really good. I absolutely adore driving the Genetta. It and I had a nice little outing for the Bathurst 8 Hour a couple months ago, and I haven't driven it since, but it was good to get behind the wheel. Race was just as good as it can be, just consistent laps. Pace was good, car was good. Those Porsches absolutely obliterated us on the straights, so it made them easy just to lap us. But other than that, yeah, it was clean, smooth sailing, and happy with a class win.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Rain of Fire there. He's just wanting us to do some post-race checks. Hyper and Genetta, name a more iconic duo. I'll wait, Nismo, until you do that. But no, congratulations. Thank you for joining us, mate, and we'll catch you over the weekend, I'm guessing, for the big one?
Yeah, I will definitely be on track tomorrow, and yeah, I can't wait for Sunday. It's going to be a good one.
Fantastic. It's going to be a terrific one, mate. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time post-race. We'll catch you on the weekend.
See you guys. Take it easy.
Awesome. Fantastic stuff. And let me tell you there, thank you, Hyper, for that. But, well, Chuck Norris, that's our lot almost for this evening. Nismo's joined us. He hasn't joined us in the chat, I should say. But, well, we're about to wrap up here, Chuck Norris. That's our lot, but big weekend coming up, Chuck, all in support of the August Charity Month for 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to give a quick massive thank you to everybody who's participated in our weekly charity series. If I can get my words out, Trev. Want to give a massive thank you to everybody who's participated in the 4-week charity series, with thanks to SUDSPEED and Lifeline, of course. But it's not over, Trev. Tomorrow night we come back for the SUDSPEED Lifeline 4 hours of Kailami. That was New Zealand Endurance Series qualifying night. That's going to be absolutely jam-packed tomorrow. So looking forward to seeing everybody take to the track then. And obviously, you can't go without doing a qualifying night without the race. So the 4 hours of Kailami will be hosted on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a long 4 hours, and Kailami, great track to have a nice endurance race at.
Absolutely. Big hello to everyone who's just jumped in the chat. Ajax, of course, Ajax spray and wipe. Round of applause for Cam Shaft. Cam, this charity August, all caps there too. Slightly aggressive coming into the chat there, but great to have you with us, Ajax spray and wipe. And what's going on, Trev? Says Jimbo. Thanks for joining us, Jimbo. Don't text and drive, but Jimbo Jones there. Where did he end up? Was it 13th on track? I believe, possibly top 10 in his class. Jimbo isn't happy with the lack of airtime we're hearing. Well, we'll just have to up the sponsorship agreement there with Jimbo Jones. Of course, let's hope he's got our back on the high seas next time we set sail. But Jimbo, we did give him some airtime. We actually rode on board for a few minutes with Jimbo, talking about how we hadn't given him airtime. So anyway, there we go. If you go back and watch the stream, you'll see that. Not wrong. Need more airtime. And we'll remember that, Jimbo, for the big one on the weekend. But look at this, the big one, the SUDSPEED Lifeline 4 hours of Kailami kicking off tomorrow with qualifying, and all part of the charity month, of course, Lifeline and SUDSPEED. Team radio for Jimbo. Oh, it's just Jimbo. He wants more airtime. Not wrong. Need more of it. Suck my balls, honey. And shot out of a cannon. Next time he's going to shoot me out of the cannon. Don't threaten me with a good time, okay? Being shot out of Jimbo's cannon with Chuck Norris there alongside us. So there we go. We'll leave you with that thought to go home with, back to your families. But that is a wrap of the short, sharp SUDSPEED Lifeline Charity Series running from July 31st to the 22nd of August. Where is this charity month going, Jimbo Jones? I do not know. But tomorrow, 8 p.m, Chuck Norris, what do they need to do for the Endurance Series, please? The qualifying night.
Yeah, so tomorrow, make sure to turn those notifications on. If you haven't followed the stream, please do be sure to do that, because, yeah, the charity month and the charity series and events are almost coming to a close. Friday night, qualifying, Sunday, big race. So if you don't have those notifications on and we don't see you spamming, the iconic emotes at the start of the stream, unfortunately, it's almost too late.
It certainly is, but it's not too late, though, to follow and get ready for the big one over the weekend. Spam V for Vindaloo, says Ajax Spray and White. Boy, he's up and about. Just tell him where that caps lock button is as well. Being to qualify Godzilla tomorrow, and that is fantastic. Thank you, Jimbo. Thank you, Chuck Norris, the man who can dig holes for fun and really piss on sharks. And there we go. So we'll leave that. Wait for Saturday, says Chuck Norris. Thank you, Chuck, for joining us. We'll catch you again tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure as always, Trev, and greatly appreciate everybody jumping in again for our 4-week mini-series for the charity month. Greatly appreciate everybody's participation, but we will catch you tomorrow night for qualifying.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you, Chuck Norris. Well done, champs. Love your work this August. You spoil us viewers. We do appreciate the kind words, Ajax, that's for sure, as that is a wrap. Be kind to one another, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you tomorrow night for qualifying for the AusNZ Endurance Series. Of course, check out all of the links in support of our 2024 August Charity Month, supporting Lifeline, 24-hour crisis support service here in Australia. If you would like to make a donation, please follow the link kindly pinned at the top of the chat by V is for Voodoo Live. Chuck Norris, give yourself a quick shout out. We've only got seconds to go. Tick, 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 until we shut this stream off. But don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Eastern Seaboard. Don't forget, of course, to check in with us for qualifying. Also, check out this man. Click the love heart at the top of the screen, and your life will be changed forever. And the Nigerian prince will be forever grateful. That's all we've got time for. I've been your host, Kid Byers. We'll catch you tomorrow night for qualifying. That's me and Chuck Norris. We are out, over and out. We'll see you next time. But for now, it's goodbye.
Trevor Bears, commentator, live streamer like a motorsports dreamer. Crackling jokes and cracking streams. Pop culture jokes explode at the seams. When a laps round Circus Biker car. Speed so far, like shooting stars. Motorsports mania, gotta watch his channels. Take you from pit stops to panel. Virtuoso on asphalt and gravel. Commentary unravel. Grip the mic like a steering wheel. Real feel, no pretense, all deal. Loves motorsports, don't get it twisted. With his laugh hypnotic enlisted. Faces fear with humor and rap. Yo Trevor, tell him about that bubble wrap man. Taking command, fearless dude, pop in hand. Watch him go live, thought so grand. Motorsports knowledge, broad as the land. Comedy tight, wrap him up tight. Crack a pop, no fight, all flight. Trevor rises, reach a new height. Bubble wrap king doing right. Pop a bubble, feel the rumble. Trevor never stumble. Pedal to metal, adrenaline treble. Jokes and